17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu. Tonight, I'm here with
Ejibi Biafe Akente.
And coming up over the next 90 minutes.
We are not going to allow this to go unpunished. So long as they are around, they should be rest assured. The law will have to take its course, because we cannot allow this to happen in our country.
Minister for the Interior, Montaka Mubarak, vows to have perpetrators of Abluma North constituency violence arrested and brought to justice following the chaotic scenes recorded there. But the question is, why are we closing the stables after the horses have bolted? Also, coming up, government begins promised payment of monthly allowances to assembly members nationwide.
The objective is to enhance their capacities and to equip them with financial resources and logistics to deepen monitoring of all government projects and programs being implemented in their various electoral areas.
We'll hear from the assembly members on what 1,300 cedis mean to their pocket. And later on Eyewitness News,
say, I prepare na bibi se be kwa na nyame ada o ma me to na ya beg no me kura.
Former President John Ejekum Kufuor complains about being neglected by his own party, the New Patriotic Party. Meanwhile, the party is going to a crucial conference this weekend for adoption of a plan leading up to the election of a flag bearer next year. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
Bank of Ghana flags rejection or non-usage of coins as risk to monetary stability.
That's in 50 minutes from the Citi Business Desk. Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a number of affiliate stations, including on Tungsun 97.3 FM, in Wajirapa 96.1 FM, in Jirapa Mike 105.3 FM, in Vrongo, Radio Bimbila 91.9 FM, in Bimbila, on Revival 99.3 FM in Tajavu, in Kumasi on Focus 94.3 FM, and Orange 107.9 FM, in Goso on Hammers Radio 106.5, in Sunyani on Greener 95.9 FM, and in Takrady on 93.5 FM, that's Sky and Beach 105.5 FM. We're live on YouTube and live on Facebook. Look for Citi FM and follow the discussion. You can also join the conversation by sending messages to WhatsApp number 0549 986 996, 0549 986 996. Alternatively, go on Twitter, now known as X, and drop your messages. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Let's start off with what happened in Abluma North constituency on Friday. AGB.
The Minister for Interior, Mubarak Muntaka, has strongly condemned the violent incidents that marred the parliamentary rerun in the Abluma North constituency, assuring the public that all individuals involved will be brought to justice. The chaos erupted on Friday when a group of unidentified macho men stormed the St. Peter's polling station during the rerun in 19 polling stations.
We'll hear from the Minister for the Interior, who called a press conference today. As part of the government agenda, the Ministry of Communication, or the Communications Directorate of the Presidency, has planned to give regular updates to Ghanaians. So there's going to be a briefing every other day starting from Monday. Now that we've heard from the Minister for the Interior, we expect to hear from another minister on Wednesday, and then we hear from another minister on Friday. That's what Phyllis Kwachofosu, the Minister of State in charge of Government Communications, has announced. Before we hear from what else the minister is promising, let's analyze generally what happened in Abluma North from a security perspective. Professor Kwesi Enin is a security analyst and he's joined us on the line. Prof, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Hello.
Prof, after what happened in Ayawaso West Wuogon and what happened in Ejira and the commissions of inquiry that were set up and all the attendant discussions, one would have thought that we have gone past these days. Unfortunately, we saw ugly scenes on Friday. From where you start watching and hearing what happened, what was your reaction?
No, it was unfortunate, but I'm not surprised. Because we established commissions of inquiry, the report is written, government issues a white paper, and that is where it is. I mean, this has become a game of cyclical patterns of violence, talk, drink tea, and then, it's business as usual. So it was most unfortunate, but I wasn't surprised at all. And I'm really looking forward to what will happen in this particular case with all the strong statements coming from government ministers.
Now, we are told by this government that everything is going to be reset, and we would have expected that violence at elections would also be a reset, considering that it's a government that complained bitterly about what happened in the 2020 election, for instance. And we also do know that political parties usually are the beneficiaries of this violence. Do you get the sense that what happened on Friday may not necessarily have the blessing of government, or at least its major actors?
I mean, probably we would then need to do a comparative analysis of the actors in the violence at Ayawaso West Wogon, and then what happened on Friday. At Ayawaso West Wogon, they were statutory security forces using military-grade weaponry, clothing, and logistics. Although before the Emil Short Commission, all the security ministers denied knowledge of these guys. What we saw on Friday gives any government or political party in government the opportunity of denial because they were not dressed in statutory uniforms or uniforms representing statutory organizations. But be that as it may, I think it's quite difficult not to align them to a political party. Because where did they come from? Who recruited them? Who funded them? I think 2 of the vehicles had blue flashing lights on it, their pickups. So all indications are that these are, well-organized people shepherded into town. And if you see this globally acclaimed diver who headbutted this woman, I mean, that is not a skill that you and I have. Ordinary people don't go diving over that, length and then headbutt somebody the way that took place. So it gives you a certain insight into who these people are, the kind of training that they have, and also the reticence of the security forces or the security personnel on duty to engage them. Raises quite a lot of questions.
I'll be coming to the reaction of the police personnel on duty that day. But before then, one last question on this. And still on the issue of comparing and contrasting, we have seen a press conference by the Minister for the Interior on the first working day of the week, promising that unless these people flee this country, they would be arrested and brought to book. Does that satisfy onlookers about the seriousness of the government in fighting this situation, or this can be described as lip service?
Oh, no, far from it. With all the visual evidence and the recordings, the audio, the vehicles that were used, after 72 hours, actually the longer it goes for people to be arrested, the more difficult it will be to track them. And they don't really need to get out of this country, because if the vehicles have been driven away, because the vehicles were not impounded by the police. So if they've been driven away, very beautifully washed, colors resprayed, the blue flashing lights changed, and they've shaved off their beards and all sorts of things. Every hour that passes becomes difficult to track them. Whatever forensic evidence was available, I think, was trampled upon. I don't think those who use pepper sprays have been invited as to why they came armed with the intention of using that. So there are lots of loose ends. We can only hope that somebody will be arrested. But I'm not actually interested in the perpetrators of this. I'm interested in the financiers, the enablers. Those who make these guys move around and do what they do. Because until we get to those who make this possible, then we will see more of this violence and even deadlier ones. Because you can see from the boldness and the professional movements and the targeted attacks that this is slightly more different. That's one of the attacks that we have seen much earlier on.
But generally, the buck stops with the government, and it appears these people, even if they are not sanctioned by the government or the governing party, they were not targeting government or governing party officials. Would you say the attitude of the government in dealing with this matter is commendable? Does it look like they are seriously interested in dealing with this issue?
Well, if government did not know any of these people, then it raises even a much more difficult set of questions. Okay? Then we are looking at intelligence failure, because based on how elections pan out and what happened in December 2024, I think any intelligence assessment will conclude that such a thing could happen. So we'll be on the lookout for people with a track record for violence, either as land guards or previously as vigilantes. And I really don't know if we have a database of these people with their biometrics and all that on the database. But if this was an intelligence failure, then I think it puts us all in considerably more danger that these organized individuals from nowhere could get flashing lights on their car and in front of the car, organize, come to Accra, drive a couple of kilometers and do what they did. That actually raises more disturbing questions. But as to the sincerity of government in delivering on its own statements and promises, the minister, if I heard him right, has also forwarded some of the evidence to the Inspector General of Police. But we will wait to see what happens and how many people are brought to book, and the interrogation techniques that will allow them to speak about those who fund them and who their godfathers and godmothers are. But as I said, I think the intelligence people and the investigators know this. Every single minute that passes, their tracks will get cold. And I think that'll be the end of the story.
So, Prof, it appears we are closing the stables after the horses have bolted. We saw the police men and women at the scene, and we saw the arrival of these thugs. It appeared that there was no command to the police officers to do anything. They stood aloof and watched, at least a lot of them. Others may have tried to stop the chaos, but a lot of the policemen and women we saw in uniform appeared as though they were not interested in preventing what was happening from ongoing. And again, they were not armed based on everything I saw. I don't know what you make of that. It was a bit surprising.
No, I think the original assessment not to arm the officers was the correct one, because we have some trigger-happy guys, and if they had been armed originally, probably you and I would have been talking about people who died and were hurt. So I think that initial assessment not to arm the police officers was right. However, if you play the videos in slow motion, you can see that they had more than enough time, reaction time, to prevent some of what took place. So I'm not too sure whether the personnel who were there had some experience in crowd control, riot control, and therefore misread what was happening. But obviously, from watching the videos, you could see from the body language of the attackers that these were guys who were coming to cause some mayhem. But finally, Umaru, it is a fact that normally when you have uniformed personnel present at a place, the fact that they represent the state and the law must by itself serve as a deterrent to people. You see, and when it fails to do that, then we need to be asking ourselves once more some very tough questions as to how people who are intent on committing a crime or intent on causing havoc can boldly do so in the presence of state law enforcement officials. So there are lots of questions, and I'm hoping that the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament and then also the Intelligence Committee, the Security and Intelligence Committee, will call the appropriate people to appear before them in camera to answer some of these questions.
Would it be fair to say the police, to some extent, were complicit in what happened, at least the level of chaos that was recorded?
No. Look, Umaru, it's about the lack of embedded political culture. Okay? If we have a political culture that glorifies violence, incentivizes people to be violent, then no number of police officers or even soldiers can prevent people from doing what they do, especially also when they know they have godfathers and godmothers who will protect them. The only way that such people can be brought under control when they attack is for the statutory security forces to do what they are trained to do best, to use their firearms. That will lead to a national uproar. Okay, so there's some hard thinking that we need to do. And we need to do that before any set of occasions provides an opportunity for even more violence. And I can assure you that these acts of violence will not only be election related as we go forward. It will happen at weddings, birthday parties, outdoorings, name-giving ceremonies, any social event in which people perceived to be from the opposite side or enemies are gathered. We will begin to see increasing forms of violence, just like this Queen Mother who was shot a couple of weeks ago. The guns are available, the ammo available, fairly affordable, and people are willing and prepared to use them.
Should we be worried about Akwetia?
No, I think Akwetia is too early for any reprisals. I think it would be strategically wrong for those who seek to revenge or respond to choose their first opportunity. And I think here we need to think counterfactually. If I've lost the last battle, of course, my opponent will think that, well, the next opportunity is when I may want to strike. Okay, and that is bad practical thinking. So my suspicion is that Akwetia may not be where we should focus too much. Of course, the place must be saturated with appropriate number of officials armed to dispel any chance at all. But my assessment is that Akwetia will not be the place where these macho men who are talking and threatening and people appealing for the formation of some security committees. That is not where they are going to act now. They will they will bid their time and wait for an opportunity when people think, these acts of violence have been forgotten. There will be less security people around, and then they will strike. So I'm not really very worried about. I'm not bothered about Akutia, truly.
Very well.
I don't think if vigilantism is going to manifest itself in a more disturbing way than we've seen in December and in July, that is where it's going to take place now.
Thank you so much, at least for that reassurance from your side. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Prof.
Thank you.
That's Professor Kwesi Enin. He's a security analyst. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 CTF. We can now hear from the Member of Parliament for Aswasi, who is also the Minister for the Interior, the Honorable Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak, speaking to journalists today at the press encounter.
Yes, I must say that, like you rightly mentioned, that the police officer that did the assault, you saw swift action. What is nice, obviously, the police administration has rules. When an officer, for lack of better word, misbehaves, the first thing is interdiction, then the person is given an opportunity to defend himself or herself before what they call the police standard bureau, where the professional standard bureau, where the person appears. So that would be the next thing. Obviously, the officer will appear before the police, professional standard bureau, where the person will be given an opportunity to be heard. And definitely the videos and all of that will play. Someone will say, and then that drifts into the second part. Why up to about 72 hours we've not seen any swift action with regards to the other, unfortunate incident? Let me say that we condemn this in no uncertain terms. I mean, that's, for me, it's a scar on all of us conscience that as people, having practiced democracy for over 3 decades, we cannot simply just go and have election and it will be violent-free. That is something that all of us, in my view, especially those of us in politics, should be very concerned and very worried about. But there's a difference. The huge difference is that, check and see, almost all of us at the top have condemned this. In the past, you will not get that. The Vice President has done that. I mean, the cameras, we have to look at it from all the angles. He has sent the crime scene guys there. The ICT guys are all working to make sure that we get it. But remember, that officer is somebody that we know, because he has a number, he has a name, we know where he is, we know where we station him, we can easily go after him. But these are guys who commit this sin and they vanish from the system. But we have to take time to track them. But assurance is that we are not going to allow this to go unpunished. Unless they flee the country. So long as they are around, they should be rest assured. The law will have to take its course. Because we cannot allow this to happen in our country. And you can be rest assured that, and I trust in the professionalism of the IGP and his team, that they are going to do a good job. So be rest assured that will be done. The other question you asked was Citi FM Akutia by-election. Yes. I know the challenge, people will say coming events cast its shadow. If we can go to only 19 polling stations, this will happen. What will happen when we go to some of the rural places? Well, the interesting thing is that I'm sure this is also a wake-up call for our security agencies to know that if probably what happened maybe you could say that it was not an organized thing, it was a spontaneous thing. Whether it was organized, whether it was spontaneous, this gives our security agencies the opportunity to even plan better towards Akutia. All I can assure the people of Akutia is that we will use Abluma North as a case study to review our operational, how we operate in Akutia, to make sure that the citizens are free to cast their vote and express their will without fear or favor. And for all the groups, whether you are in the NDC, whether you are in the NPP, whether you are independent. Let me remind you of the Vigilante Act, what it says. Minister, with your permission, I'll just read. And it says, that's section 6 of the Act says, a political party shall not directly or indirectly form, organize, operate, or engage, or facilitate the formation, organization, operation, or activity of a vigilante group, whether belonging to that political party or any other political party. A political party that contravenes Section 1 commits an offense and is liable on conviction to a fine of not less than 10,000 penalty units and not more than 25,000 penalty units. That's the penalty imposed. The national chairman, the general secretary, the national organizer, and the national treasurer of that political party are severally liable to a fine of not more than 10,000 penalty units or to a term of imprisonment of not less than 10 years and not more than 15 years. So I want to remind all of us, including myself, that if anybody organizes this is what awaits you. And I believe in the professionalism of the IGP, COP, Christian Teteyano, that he is not going to spare any person. And he can have my full support, and I'm sure I also have the full support of the president that he must let the law grant anybody, whether that person is a Muntaka or that person is for NPP or that person is from NDC, he must make sure that the person faces the full rigors of the law. So that we can assure you, we'll do our best and ensure that Akutia is safer and the election will be more peaceful.
So that's the Minister for the Interior, the Honorable Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 CTF, and lots of reactions coming through since the events of Ablekuma North. We'll be back to give you other perspectives, including the view from the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, CODEO, and the New Patriotic Party, which was a stakeholder in that election as well. Stay with us.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Oh, jump on now.
Go. Google me. I want time where you can't park where I don't hear the sound of your car. Why you buy new car?
No, I don't change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind, Seth, be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium, they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish Magobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand the Magobe inside?
I give you info. Make a feel the gobe too small.
The gogo.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
If home is where the heart is, then let's go home, shall we? Let's go where the entertainment is, where the passion is, where the laughter is, and sometimes even the tears too. Let's go where we feel safe enough to share our opinions
and send tweets,
where we do that embarrassing little dance to our favorite song. Let's go home where the love, the care, and the joy live.
There's no place like home. Connect your home to super fast internet with affordable data bundles from MTN Home. Visit broadband.mtn.com.ga or your My MTN app to sign up today. Everywhere you go.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 CTF. More reactions now to Ablekuma North. AJB?
The Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, CODEO, has criticized the Ghana Police Service over its handling of violent incidents during the Ablekuma North election rerun. CODEO noted that police officers appeared overwhelmed and, in some cases, stood by as chaos unfolded at various polling stations. Speaking on the Citi Breakfast Show, coordinator of the CODEO Secretariat, Joseph Otin Frimpong, condemned the police service for failing to provide adequate protection despite the heavy deployment of security personnel to the area.
Generally, the violence and the disturbing incidents that marked the Ablekuma North rerun is something that is deeply troubling, not just for those who are affected by the events, but for every Ghanaian who actually believes in democracy, rule of law, and peaceful political participation. So, although we couldn't go to the field as we indicated, we monitored the kind of activities or the events through the traditional and social media. And per the videos that we saw and the many publications that we read, we found out that some of the incidents that occurred, the police service that they were meant to ensure peaceful voting, though they were somehow there, and some of them looked unconcerned when some of these violent activities occurred at some of the polling stations. Although they did well by interdicting one of their members, as regards the many violent activities that happened, from the videos that we saw, some of them seemed unconcerned or they were overwhelmed by the turn of events. So we were much concerned about the role that they went to the polling station to play, because looking at the various by-elections and reruns that, as a country we have witnessed, though they should have known that this kind of election, the stakes were very high, and should have prepared towards any offset incident happen. But we didn't see that from the videos that we watched from our secretariat.
You say that the posture of the police on Friday is similar to the posture you observed during the 2024 election and transition. And then you go on to say that the emasculation of the police service is a clear and present danger that must be fully addressed. So you feel like it's not like the police can't do anything. Is it like they feel disempowered, or they are not bold enough to act? What's your reading of the posture of the police?
Okay, so when it comes to the capacity of the Ghana Police Service in addressing some of the violent issues that do occur at polling stations, we are in no doubt that they have the capacity to deal with those issues. But the challenge is when some of these issues actually involve the political leaders or politicians. For that one, we see that the ability to address some of the issues somehow is in doubt. So, what we ask of them is that normally when some of these incidents happen, we want them to address the issue as it is, no matter who is involved, because that's their mandate, and they have the duty to ensure that laws are maintained at the polling station for people to vote in peace. Yeah, because we can't be having some of these elections that are marred by violence. Whenever that happens, it affects the integrity of our elections and our democracy in general.
In terms of duty bearers, I noticed you call on the President of the Republic and the Police Council to take the lead in this. Why those two?
Yes, because per the Constitution, that's Article 202 of our Constitution, the President who is in charge of the Police Council, though they have the mandate to initiate some of the inquiry into some of these actions to help bring perpetrators to book. So we called on them to act in accordance with what has been stipulated in the Constitution to address some of these issues, because it's their mandate and they are the ones who are to address the issue.
Now, what about political parties? Because the stakeholders are many. EC, police and security, political parties and the judiciary. What is because clearly this is political party instigated, right? It's not the police who went to cause the confusion. It's the political parties who did this. Yes. Is it that they cannot be spoken to? Is it that because when they commit political crimes they are not prosecuted, they get away with it? What's with them and by elections that makes them keep doing this?
Yeah, so when it comes to elections and violence, in itself, some people who even indulge themselves in violence, they have their motive of indulging in violence. So during the rerun at Abluma North, if you monitored some of the interviews that the leading parties as NPP and NDC, some of the comments that they made, some of them were blaming the victims that they deserve it. Others too were saying that they disbanded their vigilante group. That's why these things happened. So when it comes to the political parties, they are one of the key stakeholders in our electoral system. So for that point, we want all the stakeholders, especially the political parties, to know that when it comes to electoral integrity, we can no longer entertain violence. And they need to follow the law as it is. And you asked a question as regards how the political parties, whether they have not been spoken to. Historically, they have always been engaged when it comes to addressing violence. If you recall, even before the 2024 general elections, they were made to sign the peace pact and all those kind of things. So it's something that all of us, we need to speak to it and urge them to always do the right thing. They should monitor the way they speak when it comes to election-related issues, because those things do instigate violence.
So clearly the prognosis for Akwetia is dire, right? If things don't change rapidly, Akwetia may be a bloodbath.
Yes. So looking at the stake, the Akwetia North by-elections and the historical nature of our by-elections, the major stakeholders when it comes to our elections should be proactive, because we can't witness what we just witnessed last Friday and the ones that we have witnessed in times past again in Akwetia. So as we are approaching the Akwetia elections, we urge all the stakeholders to draw critical lessons from what happened in the Abluma North rerun and work collectively to safeguard our democracy. Ghanaians, we deserve better, and we can do it.
That was the coordinator of the Coalition of Domestic Election Observer Secretariat, Joseph Orton Frimpong, speaking to Bernard Abler on the Citi Breakfast Show. Now, the opposition New Patriotic Party, NPP, is demanding the immediate arrest of individuals who stormed the St. Peter's Methodist polling station and attacked former Fisheries Minister Mavis Hawakumsin. Speaking to Citi News, a Deputy General Secretary of the party, Haruna Mohammed, expressed shock over the lack of arrests and called for swift action.
We need the IDP, the CID, BNI, all of them to rise up to the occasion and make sure that these people are arrested. You cannot stand at a poll, stand at a date, and people will come and push it. The police was virtually helpless. They were standing there, nothing they could do. They entered and did all that they said. Nobody has been arrested. These videos are available, everything as we speak. Nobody has been arrested. And later, we saw all of them somewhere in uniform, police uniform. And those boys who have gone through what they did, all of them were housed at the Jubilee House. The video is there. People are watching it. This is very terrible. I don't think that this is an effect that have been promised us with people of that. It is very unfortunate and very common.
Deputy General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, Haruna Mohammed, now former Assistant Secretary at the office of the former President Ibrahim Ejay, has criticized President John Dramani Mahama for his continued silence following the violent incidents that disrupted the Abluma North parliamentary rerun, describing it as deafening. Speaking on Channel 1 TV's Breakfast Daily Show, Ibrahim Ejay called on the president to publicly address the violence, alleging that it was perpetrated by activists affiliated to the NDC.
Government, I mean, the silence of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is deafening. Deafening. And it's something that needs to be addressed. Because clearly, and nobody should try and say there's bias in my submission. Show me those of the NPP who were instigating the wanton violence that happened there. Show me. So that we can also put them in the dock. Clearly NDC activists. And we saw on social media how in the foreground of Jubilee House, Nana 24, you had these thugs being mobilized to go to Abluma North. It's there. And if you want to say, well, these are, what do you call it? Some had military fatigue. But in this day and age where we can determine who is military and who is quote unquote a thug, in terms of that grouping that we saw on social media.
Former Assistant Secretary at the office of the former President Ibrahim Ejay speaking there. Away from that, the New Patriotic Party says Saturday's annual Delegates Conference will review key recommendations from the Professor Mike Okoye Committee report, along with one outstanding reform from the party's 2019 conference in Kumasi. That particular reform was previously approved but never formally adopted. Speaking to the media ahead of the event, NPP Director of Communications Richard Ahiagba says the proposed changes, if accepted, will lead to amendments to the party's constitution aimed at strengthening the party ahead of the 2028 elections.
The annual National Delegate Conference is the supreme governing body of our party. That's the apex of the decision-making body of our party. And according to Article 10(6), the National Annual Delegate Conference shall deliberate and make resolutions on matters such as deliberations on the National Chairman's statement to conference, the report of the General Secretary to conference, the statements of account of the National Treasurer of the party, and any other matter. And in this conference, a very important assignment is before us, which includes very significant exercise to reform our constitution or to amend our constitution. And if you recall, there are, I think, one major amendment outstanding from 2019, I should say, in Kumasi, where we're supposed to have amended the constitution, but that did not happen, and council or conference actually referred it to National Council to deliberate on and submit a proposal. That proposal was submitted to a committee that was created following the submission of the Professor Aaron Michael Okoye Committee's report on the election, the 2024 election. That report, which is a package of amendments from the 2029 Annual National Delegate Conference, and proposals resulting from the report of the Michael Okoye Committee and other amendments submitted by the party members are part of the bundle of amendments that this conference will consider.
You heard Director of Communications for the New Patriotic Party, Richard Ahiagba. Now, political analyst Jonathan Asante-Otre says former President Kufuor's recent comments reflect deepening disunity within the New Patriotic Party. This follows President Kufuor's claim that he has been sidelined in the party affairs. Speaking to Citi News, Jonathan Asante-Otre said such a public admission from a founding figure and two-term leader signals internal cracks that must be urgently addressed to preserve party cohesion.
This idea of being sidelined, for me, is a testament to the different factions within the party, and that have culminated in that huge gap, that huge disunity within the party, for which reason, we just saw a recent one at Abluma North, where the General Secretary proscribed their decision not to take part in the elections. Then the parliamentary candidate decides to do so. She now gets support from the presidential hopefuls. That should tell you that there is a big disunity and that the center is not holding. Those who have been given the mandate, they don't have the wherewithal to run the affairs of the party.
Jonathan Asante-Otre further advised that the party should utilize its upcoming conference to implement measures to address all divisions within the party.
Well, they should go back to the basics. Maybe they should hold on important decisions for now. They should go for their conference and then come out with certain proposals and amendments. And that should be, a matter of consensus building. Based upon that, they will be able to know the right direction of the party.
Hello.
For saying that, for now, people should not take important decisions for now. They should go for their conference, come out with amendments, and come out with certain consensus, arrangement and agreement. That will know to the benefit of the party, and then they should take it from there.
Jonathan Asante-Otre is a political analyst.
Now, the Ministry for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs has announced the commencement of monthly allowance payments to assembly members across the country. A total of 23.6 million cedis has been disbursed to cover allowances for April and May, with each assembly member receiving 1,300 cedis per month. In all, 9,085 assembly members are expected to benefit from the payments. Addressing a press conference, Sector Minister Ahmed Ibrahim said the initiative is part of government's effort to strengthen local governance under the Resetting Ghana agenda. Listen to him.
In recent past, we have experienced a re-centralization of resources at the center, and this negatively impacted on the performance of the metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies. To reverse this trend, the government of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama promised to transferring 80% of the district assembly common fund to the metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies. And this policy is being implemented. Our government also promised to resource all assembly members. The objective is to enhance their capacities and to equip them with financial resources and logistics to deepen monitoring of all government projects and programs being implemented in their various electoral areas.
So that's Honorable Ahmed Ibrahim Banda, he's MP for Banda and Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. So what does this mean and how would it really benefit the local governance space? Dr. Richard Fiadumo is President of the Chamber of Local Governance. Doc, this was a campaign promise that has been realized now. 1,300 cedis monthly allowance. Too big, too small? What would it mean to the development agenda of the government at the local level?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, like you rightly said, it was a promise that was made and it has been delivered. It will go a long way to incentivize the assembly members to perform their functions very well. Because if you look at the Act 96 of the Local Governance Act, and then you also see the responsibilities that are placed on assembly members, you get to see that many of those responsibilities, they are not able to do them. For example, anytime they have to go for a General Assembly meeting, they are required to go to their communities or their electoral areas to collect information from them as to some of the challenges they are facing. They have to go to the General Assembly with this challenge or some of these challenges, and then they must come back to the electoral areas or the communities to also update them as to what the General Assembly decided on some of these issues. But unfortunately, these are not being done. All because if you even want to call a DEBA or you want to have a town hall meeting, you have to go and rent a place, you have to go and rent chairs, you have to provide water and all that. So clearly, it has made the local governance system suffer a certain setback. So for me, I think that we are commending His Excellency the President for delivering on this particular promise, and I believe it will go a long way to deepen decentralization and also expand the frontiers of local governance in this country.
But is the amount enough, though? 1,300, or you say better more than nothing?
Oh, of course, Oliver Twist will always ask for more. But the fact of the matter is that assembly members are not bona fide staff of the assemblies. So the monies that are being given to them is a consolidated allowance. As and when they sit, they are paid allowances. But this time around, the government has consolidated everything, and it is coming on a monthly basis, which will allow them to also plan and also do assembly business the way they have to do it. So, of course, in future, we'll call for more money. But you could also see that if you look at the 100 million that government, the finance minister mentioned or approved, that has been approved by Parliament, it tells you that that money would not be enough for the year. So I believe that the coming mid-year review budget, it is going to be increased because clearly it is going to cost the government about 141 million every year to pay the assembly members if it has to be at the 1,300.
The public wage bill is already a big problem for our budgets. Now that we have added these extra costs, we may run into difficulties, don't you think? Especially when we are talking about austere measures that have to be taken to keep the budget balanced. Do you think this should be introduced at this time, despite the fact that, of course, assembly members would need that? But considering that it is not a legal or is not a mandatory thing, should the government not have held on at least for a while?
Oh, for me, I think the time to start is now. Because we have the Constitution in Article 20 talks about local government decentralization. So we have started this thing as far back as 1992. We have a situation whereby people are being voted for every 4 years, but they are not incentivized for the work that they do. And because we see some of these things also happening, we don't see the assembly members giving off their best. So once we have signed on to decentralization and local governance, we have to find a way to incentivize them. And that is what I think will help. Of course, there will always be financial challenges in this country, but some of the things will still have to be done. So for me, I think the time to act is now, and we have to commend the government sincerely for this.
Should there be a way to see if there's a value for money, this money we are paying to the assembly members? Should we give them some key assignments and expect that they deliver? Failure to do, which would prevent them from getting the allowances? I don't know, KPIs maybe that we can put to them and say your 1,300 or your monthly allowance is dependent on how clean your electoral area is or how safe your electoral area is, and so on.
Yeah, for me, I think that I want to believe there will be something like that the ministry will come out in the coming days, because clearly this is public money that is going to be given to assembly members, and they have to account for it, and they have to justify why public funds should be used to give them those allowances. If you look at the functions of the assembly members, they are supposed to be policy makers. They go to the assembly and make policies for the assembly within a particular jurisdiction. So they have to go for general assembly meetings, they have to attend subcommittee meetings, they have to attend other meetings that as and when they are required to do so, they will do so. Those are some of the things that they are supposed to do. You have a situation whereby there are government projects within certain electoral areas. It is a duty of the assembly members to ensure that government projects also goes on and goes on very well. So this is not monies that are going to come to them for you to measure productivity per se, but it is once they go for meetings and they are regular and they make policy, and the people within the areas within the MMPs are also getting value for money, and the assemblies are delivering proper service to the people. There is social accountability. All these things are things that we cannot easily quantify, but once they go on, other persons will also benefit from the services of assembly members. So I want to believe that in the coming days, the ministry will come out with some form of KPI that will ensure that our assembly members will not receive these monies and not perform the very functions for which these monies are being given to them.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. That's Dr. Richard Fiadumo. He's president of the Chamber of Local Governance. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM.
The minority in Parliament has alleged that some equipment under the district's road improvement project DRIP is currently being diverted for illegal mining activities with minimal effort by the government to halt the practice. According to the caucus, the ongoing environmental destruction caused by illegal mining poses severe threats to Ghana's economy, particularly by undermining government efforts to boost agricultural development as a means of economic growth. Responding to a statement on the state of Ghana's economy, the minority leader Alexander Penyomarkin urged the government to confront the menace of illegal mining.
If we don't deal with this Galamsey thing, money is getting into the hands of people. People are destroying the environment. In the long run, it is this same economy that it would affect. How do you sustain your economy when some environmental factors are affecting the very economy and then it is hand to mouth? It is when we invest in agriculture that we can sustain an economy with. But if you are not investing in these areas, then we are talking about some 6 month successes. Then after, everything comes to square one, and then we go back to IMF begging. Today, the drip machines that are supposed to be, for instance, Mr. Speaker, for our roads, some people are using it for Galamsey, and there is no authority to even reprimand. There's impunity, because they come and tell us that I voted for you. I voted for you, so allow me to do whatever. Mr. Speaker, no.
Minority Leader Alexander Penyomarkin.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Charlie, where are you?
Boss man, I'm at the bank.
Really? But your car is in front of your house.
Bro, my bank on my phone, Charlie.
Oh, how?
EcoBank, bro. With EcoBank mobile app, I can do everything, anywhere, anytime. Listen, I just checked my account balance, paid Ahmed's school fees, and sent money to my grandma at Wale.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Masa, just download the EcoBank mobile app from the Google Play Store or the App Store, or dial *770# and be your own bank manager.
Manager.
Whether to pay bills or fees, to check account statements, send money across Ghana, abroad, and more, EcoBank mobile app has got it covered. EcoBank Mobile, making everyday people live everyday lives the EcoBank way. EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
Life doesn't always go as planned. Maybe you dreamed of earning a degree, but something got in the way. Losing a parent, financial struggles, or life just happening. But what if I told you it's not too late? At Cracks Training Institute, we believe in second chances. With the ABE Level 6 program, your dreams are back within reach. If you hold an HND or a 2-year diploma and have valuable work experience, this is your opportunity. The ABE Level 6 is recognized by Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTEC, and equivalent to a bachelor's degree. But that's not all. It also qualifies you to enroll in any university in Ghana for a master's degree. And here's the good news. Admissions start this August. This is your moment. Don't let it pass you by. Take the first step towards rewriting your story. Call us today at Cracks Training Institute on 0552 222217, 0552 222217, or visit cracks.edu.gh.
Hot pepper powder. Loco shoe. This advert is FDA approved.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Ejubi Wiafe Akintin. Let's settle for the details. The Bank of Ghana is strongly cautioning the public against rejection of certain coins as a means of exchange, stressing that such actions can negatively affect price stability. The bank notes that it has observed that some individuals continue to refuse the 10 pesewa and 20 pesewa denominations when offered as change. Speaking on the sidelines of the opening ceremony of a West Africa Institute for Financial and Economic Management workshop on currency management and forecasting, the head of currency management at the Bank of Ghana, Dominic Owusu, said all coins and banknotes issued by the central bank are legal tender and must be accepted in all transactions without discrimination.
We will do our best. We will continue to ring and echo this into the minds of Ghanaians, that there is no reason that the currency that has been issued as a legal tender, you will reject it. So I want to encourage you. I want to also use this platform to encourage all Ghanaians that all the currencies, 1 pesewa, 5 pesewas, 10 pesewas, 20 pesewas, 50 pesewas, 100 pesewas, 200 pesewas, and for that matter, 200 Ghana Cedi, 2 Ghana Cedi coin are all legal tender. The coins are very, very necessary to stabilizing prices. But in its absence, people will be rounding prices. And one interesting thing is that the coins stay in circulation longer, and it helps us as a nation to save on printing notes. So please accept the coins. Nobody should reject coins that has been legally issued as a legal tender by the central bank.
You heard the head of currency management at the Bank of Ghana, Dominic Owusu. Away from that, the Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, has reiterated concerns over the high cost of electricity in the country, warning that it poses a significant threat to the successful implementation of the government's 24-hour economy initiative. The policy, which aims to drive economic growth by encouraging round-the-clock business operations, is expected to continue substantially to Ghana's real GDP growth and create millions of jobs. However, speaking to the Citi Business News, president of AGI's Greater Accra chapter, Chona Makpelo, cautioned that without urgent action to address structural challenges, the policy risks falling short of its goals.
The cost of power in Ghana is so high that in the sub-region, we're probably the highest paying country when it comes to the cost of power. And our challenge is that once the government is pushing for the 24-hour economy program, it appears that the cost of power is still going up. But our concern in industry is that we cannot work with this cost of increasing cost of power. It's really challenging. And we are saying that government must create a special purpose vehicle for industry. And so let's know 24-hour economy program. This is how much subsidy industries getting in terms of power. So that way we know that this is really something that will go with. So
President of the Association of Ghana Industries Greater Accra chapter, Chonam Akpelo, speaking. Now, as part of the broader 24-hour economy implementation, government is targeting a significant scale-up in shea nut production to 400,000 metric tons annually, with an estimated market value of $640 million. Currently, Ghana produces between 130,000 and 150,000 metric tons of shea nuts annually. However, only 40% of the available shea nut resource is recovered, leaving considerable untapped potential. Director of Presidential Initiatives on Agriculture and Agribusiness, Dr. Peter Buama Otukono, believes the implementation of the 24-hour economy policy will significantly improve extraction rates and unlock greater value for the sector.
In 2023, Ghana was ranked as the top global exporter of shea butter and currently producing an estimated capacity of between 130,000 to 150,000 metric tons of shea nuts annually. This is valued at some $118 million US. However, as we know and the story was earlier told, we are only able to recover 40% of these nuts. That means that if we put in more effort to recover more of these nuts, we would be able to significantly double, multiply these gains that we get from the share nuts. However, with the introduction of the 24-hour economic policy, we are setting a new national ambition. By investing in modern processing facilities, mechanized harvesting, cold storage, and all-season logistics, we are confident Ghana can increase the share nut production to 400,000 metric tons annually, valued at some $640 million US. This is not just a projection. This is a practical possibility.
Dr. Peter Boama Otokono is Director of Presidential Initiatives on Agriculture and Agribusiness. As part of digital tools and platforms become critical enablers of growth, Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Enterprises Agency GEA, Margaret Ansay, is urging small and medium-sized enterprises to embrace digital transformation to scale up. According to her, the shift towards digitalization is no longer optional for SMEs determined to stay competitive. Speaking at the relaunch of the Ghana SME Awards in Accra, she noted that the GEA, with support from its partners, will continue to provide capacity building, advisory support, and funding interventions to help SMEs embrace digital tools and adapt to modern business practices.
We need innovative financing mechanisms beyond traditional banking, such as venture capital, angel investment, and government-backed loan guarantees specifically designed for SME growth. The second area, in the case of digital transformation, our SME must embrace technology not as an option, but as a necessary tool required for the effective delivery of business in today's world. For us at GEA, this means supporting e-commerce platforms, digital payment systems, and data analytics skills.
You heard CEO of Ghana Enterprises Agency Margaret Ansay. For his part, the Executive Director of SME Grow Africa, Kwesi Ofori Jr., argued that repositioning the SME narrative is crucial to driving inclusive economic transformation.
The relaunch is bringing a much better benefit to SMEs. We are looking into toughening the processes to make sure we're able to pick out the right SMEs, project them, help them grow.
Executive Director of SME Grow Africa, Kwesi Ofori Jr., speaking there, ending the Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Ejubi Wiafe Akente. Up next is Point Blank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Still unbeatable. Republic Bank has slashed the Citi mortgage interest rate to a new low. That means it's more affordable to own your dream home. You enjoy lower monthly installments, save on interest payments, flexible loan arrangements, and more. Make the move. Own your home at a lower teen interest rate. But hurry, this offer lasts for a limited time. Visit any Republic Bank branch or send email to myhome@republicghana.com or call Accra 054-0109-649. Kumasi 054-0109-901 to apply today and enjoy a teen interest rate. Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Gugomi, at what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car? No, I don't change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel where I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so. This is the type of fuel where they want to. Cause now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I'll go drive, sir. Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mindset be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open there. Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel? Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you. Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside? I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small. Go. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
This is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. I am Umaru Sandamari. Tonight on Point Blank, we are going to the northernmost part of the country and slide towards the east. The western part of Boko, the constituency named Zabila. And speak to the newly elected member of parliament for that constituency. He's a first-timer, following in the steps of John Akparibu Ndebugri and Cletus Avoka, as well as Honorable Hussein. My guest tonight is Honorable Ebenezer Ndebila, MP Zabila. You're welcome.
Thank you, Amadou.
How are you?
I'm great.
Why is your name sounding like your constituency? Ndebila from Zabila.
Yes. It rhymes, you know.
Oh, yeah, it rhymes. Yeah. What does Ndebila mean?
Ndebila, I think it's
sorry for putting you on the spot.
It will take some some explanation to get.
Okay, but what language is that?
No, that's Kusal.
Kusal. Oh, yeah. Okay. But how are you?
I'm good.
How are you finding Parliament?
Very stressful.
Very stressful.
Yeah.
Stress is killing. We are told that a lot of you MPs are struggling now that you are working from Monday to Saturday. Is it Sunday is the only day you don't work?
Yeah, that's true.
I hope you are managing your stress.
Yeah, we're managing.
Because you're a first timer, you are learning, you are following, and you have not even got an appointment to. You're stressed at home, and just be careful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Are you a young man or an old man?
I'm a middle-aged man.
A middle-aged man.
Yes.
Please take your health seriously.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best. How is Zabila, and where is Zabila, for those who don't know?
Yeah, so Zabila is in the Upper East region. It's in the Upper East region. It's a constituency in the Upper East region. The western part of the eastern part of Upper East.
So you're in the middle of the Upper East.
Yes, we're in the middle of Upper East. Yeah.
So the district is Boko West. You share a border with Burkina Faso to the north, correct?
Yes.
And to the west,
Togo.
No. So Boko to the east.
Boko to the east. To the west is
Bolga East. Do you have Bolga?
No. Nabdam.
Nabdam. Okay.
Nabdam.
Okay. And then to the south, who do you have there?
South is northeast.
Northeast. Okay.
Yeah.
Northeast region.
Yes, northeast.
So it's a very big constituency.
Very, very big constituency.
Population?
About 144,000.
144,000.
Yeah.
But the people who vote are like 50,000, I'm sure.
No, the voter population is about 42,000.
Oh, okay. Not up to 50,000.
Yeah.
And
no, 72,000.
72,000.
72,000.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's a lot.
72,000.
It means you did a lot of campaigning. Is it a rural constituency or?
Yes, it is. It is a rural constituency.
Not urban.
No, not urban.
Usually when I interview MPs, I ask them about the state of infrastructure in their constituency. The last time I went through Zabila, I was moving from Boko to Bolga, and that was 2018, I think. And the road was very dusty. It was under construction of a sort, and nothing was happening. It was just this dirt road. What is the status of the Boko-Bolga road on which Zabila lies?
Yes, so the route is now a bit, it's now okay.
It's been tarred?
Yeah, in 2016. Yes, in 2016, it was awarded on contract to Galvao. And
Queiroz Galvao?
Yes, Queiroz Galvao, yes. So that was in 2016. And we lost elections in 2016. NPP came and continued it for some time. So, yeah, most part of the route is motorable. It's tarred.
So from Boko to Bolga is tarred?
Boko to Bolga is tarred, except that there are some parts of the route that are still not worked on. If you get to the Black Volta, yeah, that part of the route, stretch of the route is still not tarred because they are working on the bridge.
But at least the part in Zabila Township.
Oh yes, Zabila Township to Boko is tarred. Yes.
Okay. What about the Zabila town roads?
Zabila town roads, yes, there are challenges. We still have serious problems with challenges. In fact, there are even limited access routes in Zabila town. there are limited access routes, and that is a big challenge. And so we don't even have many access routes.
Okay.
Yeah, just a very limited.
What do the people of Zabila do?
Mostly farmers.
Farmers. Crops or
animals? Crops.
What kind of crops?
Basically maize, millet.
Okay.
Maize, millet, sorghum.
Do you have enough water for irrigation purposes, or you have a river that feeds the farms? How does it work? Or you rely on the rains that come once a year?
No, we have irrigation facilities, except that most of them have been overstretched. We have some of them that have been there for a very long time. The water is drying up. The dams need to be desilted, and they are not. And so in the dry season, farmers will plant, and at a point in time, the water will dry out, and then they will be left wanting. And then also we use the white volta basin is also used for irrigation farming. And so basically that's what happens. And then some few dams around.
The one village, one dam?
No, we don't have a one village, one dam.
They didn't build some for you?
No.
Okay. So which dams do you use?
We use these are very old dams that have been there for a long time, and people use them. We use them for irrigation purposes.
Do you have a major market for the produce that you have from the farms, or you send everything to Boko and Bolga?
I think basically Zabila market itself is a big market.
It's big.
Yes, so Zabila market is there, and we have other markets like we've mentioned, Boku, and then Bolgatanga. Yeah, and other people also come from different markets to also buy produce, especially the aggregators. They come around to buy goods that they will also go out to also sell out in other markets.
Because you share a border with the Burkina Faso, do you do trade? Do you have people doing business between your side and Burkina Faso, or they would have to go through Kulungungu and enter Burkina through Bito and those places?
No, our people are most until recently when the insecurity started in Boku. Boku used to be a very very big business hub, and so yes, we do a lot of country trades between Ghana, Togo, Ghana, and Burkina Faso. So a lot of businesses take place. People buy, they come to Zabila market, Bolga market. Our people buy goods from Zabila. They go to Burkina Faso, the neighboring towns like Zabre and other areas to sell. And then they also come to our market to also buy goods for sale.
How is the Boko conflict affecting your constituency?
Yeah.
And what do you think can be done to end that conflict?
It's very, very sad. The Boko conflict is something that is very sad. I thought I was going to be my ending notes so that I can say something a bit about what's happening in Boko. I hope you heard what happened yesterday. It's very unfortunate. It's something that we all are very worried. The whole day we have been running up and down trying to see how best we can find some solutions to some immediate solutions to some of the issues that just happened yesterday. So let me just use this opportunity. I may not get the opportunity again to express my deepest, sorry to my people on the ground, especially in Boku, for what happened yesterday. We are deeply worried. We are deeply saddened by the regrettable incident, especially the pulling down of our overlord's statue in Boku. It's something that has impacted so heavily on us today that the whole day we had to spend the whole day trying to fix one or two things. So my condolences to all those who lost their lives, and we call on the youth to remain calm and then allow the elders of the community to put in the necessary structures that will ensure that lasting peace comes back to Boko.
What do you think can be done to end that conflict once and for all? And who has to do that?
Conflict resolution does not just it's all encompassing. It involves a lot of stakeholders. Currently there's something that is ongoing. I believe in that process. I believe the the Asante Hinero Tunfo is currently mediating the process. In fact, we are almost at the tail end of the process because we have been there a number of times. Both parties have been there, the Kusas have been there, the Mamproses have been there, and I think the end is nearer. It is hoped that with the way and manner in which he is handling the process, the negotiations that are going on, at the end of the day, both parties will agree to the outcome of it, and then we can have full lasting peace in Boku.
How has it affected business and commerce in the region?
So badly, so badly. Many people, Boku used to be, like I said, Boku used to be a business hub. Whatever you wanted in Boku to buy, you would get it. Electronics, furniture, whatever. You would get to the place. In fact, one interesting thing is that I started up as a young entrepreneur. I used to go there. You were just asked me something out there about fuel. I used to go to Boku and Boga to buy fuel in jerrycans, back to my village to sell. And you get to Boku, you want something to buy, you only see one or two of it outside. But when you want, plenty of it or many of it, then they take you to a warehouse, then you will now marvel. You would understand that, yeah, this is a place that is fully a business area. And so, because of the conflict, many people have left Boku. Many people, most of the business activities that were there, people are no more there. Most all the financial institutions in Boku have left Boku, and so now.
So why is Zabila not benefiting from the exodus from Boku? Because you are not in Boku, you are on the way to Bolga. Why not benefiting from that exodus?
You know, Zabila, there's no difference between Boku and Zabila. Boku and Zabila, we're one.
Okay.
It's Kusau. It's just Boku West and Boku East. So we're one. The only benefit we get is that people have moved from Boku to settle in Zabila.
Okay.
Yes, so that is where it is increasing the population of Zabila, and then also helping to increase the some business activities in Zabila. But having the two working together would have been more profitable, more beneficial than Boku Zabila alone. And so for now, the issues in Boku have actually affected activities because most people have left the place, and the place is now left out, and then most of the institutions that were there and supporting activities, most government institutions like GRA, VRA, all of them, you can now see them in Zabila, and some of them, they have been able to put up some small satellite offices where they operate from. You can check some few things, and the rest of them. So actually, it hasn't been easy for the whole enclave, the Hook-Sauk area, because many people who also came from afar, like from the southern sector, to establish business, that have also left the place. They have gone out with their capital, so there's some kind of capital flight from the area, and that has also affected the community negatively.
President Mahama promised to create the Kusau region if elected, and now he's the president. How are processes leading up to that region, the creation of a new region there? And do you truly believe that that's a solution to the problems there?
Not just the solution to the problems, but we think that it is one of the things that will help solve the problem. And then if you ask me how the process, how far we've gone, yes, we've gone through some processes. The 6 members of parliament from the Kusak area have come out to write a petition formally to the president, and then the president will now, I think, it has been referred to the Council of State, and so I think it's going through a process, and we're hoping that the Council of State, from the presidency to the Council of State, will get an approval for probably some feasibility studies to be done, and then subsequently a referendum will be organized. So
you truly think that there's a need for a new region for your area?
Yes, we think it is very necessary because, economics of scale, and then the fact that being our own will help also promote some other opportunities. We will be able to sell Kusak as an area, as an enclave to the world, and that can also help bring some investments into the area. So we think that yes, having it as a region, having Kusak as a region will be a very good thing that will help propel development in the area.
What is the water and sanitation situation in Zabila like? Do you have boreholes, or you have Ghana water, and how about sanitation issues generally? What's the state of affairs in wash sector? The
wash sector, we We have community water systems. We have community water systems in Zabila, and then I think 2 other Benaba. So that's what we have. We have boreholes too.
So water is not a problem?
Water is a problem. I'm only explaining what we have
currently
at the moment. Yes, what we have currently. So what is a problem? Because there are several communities that still do not have water. People still walk long distances to fetch water, about 1 kilometer or more to fetch water. Students in the morning, you'll be traveling and seeing students traveling with their buckets to go and fetch water and come back before they go to school. So these are all still challenges that we have in the area.
Do you have a secondary school in Zabila?
Yeah, we have about we have 2 secondary schools and 1 technical school.
So the state of education is not that bad?
No, it's not that bad, except to say that infrastructure is also a challenge. We have some infrastructure problems. When the 4-year program was introduced
for the senior high
the senior high schools, and there was no any corresponding increase in the infrastructure. And after the system was abolished, the numbers also still kept on increasing, and so it has suppressed or it has affected the population in the schools. The schools are populated, yet the infrastructure is not enough to correspond with the numbers that we have in the schools.
Do you have a district hospital?
Yes, we have a district hospital.
Is it well equipped?
It's not well equipped. We have a district hospital that is has that lack a lot of facilities. I must say. Currently, we have a mortuary. In fact, that is something that is very key to me. It's the whole of the region. There are only 2 mortuaries. The main one is in Boga, and then the other one is in the Navrungu.
Okay.
There's a big mortuary that was built in Zabila. Fortunately, there was a consultant that came to build this infectious disease center, and then the authorities were able to talk to them, and they completed the structure. And this structure is sitting there idling without any equipment to put it into use. So this is something. These are things, and then we have several areas. Some of the wards that have been lacking common beds and bed sheets. In fact, recently I was told, as a friend sent me a video of one of the wards that patients had to use their own bed sheets, and it is something that is very touchy. And because of that, I have to do something. I'm currently working on getting some bed sheets.
That's where I'm coming to now. So let's talk about the things you want to do. You have been elected clearly. In addition to lawmaking, you would also help solve the problems of your people. In the next 4 years, what would you want us? Maybe give me 3 or 4 things that are very crucial for you that you want to deal with before you end your first term.
Yeah, so my area is an agrarian community, and one of the key things I would want to focus is to see how best we can support dry season farming activities. And we cannot support dry season farming without water bodies, water bodies that can be used for the irrigation purposes. So it is something that is in mind. I have plans to see how best we can distill some of the dams that people can go back into full force irrigation farming, because in my area agriculture is the way to go, because it is the backbone of the people of the area. And so we cannot at this particular moment desert agriculture and then begin to look at things that we don't have an advantage over. So that is one of the key things.
So that's agriculture.
Yes. The next thing is health care. One of the key things I have in mind about healthcare is getting at least every health facility have a maternity ward. It is something that I campaigned on very vigorously, because what I saw during campaigns, you get to the hospital, you get to a community, then you have to go and visit a patient in a clinic or a hospital or a health facility. You get there and there are women in labor, and then the areas that they don't have any decent place for delivery. And so I took it upon myself to add it as one of my key campaign message, that I would want to support communities, health facilities that are without delivery wards or maternity blocks.
Okay.
We support them to have the maternity blocks, so that at least our women can have decent and have very conducive environment to also deliver like their colleagues in other areas.
Okay.
So that is one other aspect. And then some of the communities do not even have health facilities at all. So what I have been doing is trying to link up with other institutions, some other groups and individuals to see how best we can help provide some of these facilities in that area so that I can help our people.
Finally, education or roads, I don't know which one you want to take. What would you want to do in that sector before we go?
Roads infrastructure is very bad. All the
inner roads?
No, all the issues you are mentioning, they are all challenges in my area.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about education, it's a challenge. But road network is a very big problem. Road network is a very big problem. Most of the roads linking major communities are in deplorable states. I currently listen with the district chief executive to see how best we can use some of the drip machines and then patch some of the roads and then to ensure that they are not washed off in this rainy season. And there are plans I have met with the road minister. I've given him some few roads that are in mine, and then he has promised at least this year he'll be able to help me fix one of the roads, and maybe subsequent years we can look at other roads.
Thank you so much. But before you go, in the Chamber of Parliament itself, have you made a statement since you came? Have you been allowed to speak? Do you get bullied or you are able to do your things?
Oh yes, I made my maiden statement. I think this meeting during this meeting. In fact, the last meeting
you were not nervous, right? It was
no, I think
you delivered.
I delivered. Yes.
Your people were happy.
Oh yeah, my people were very
I don't want them
happy.
to say that you come to Parliament, they don't see you.
Oh no, my people were very happy.
Your side people are plenty now, so if you are not careful, nobody notices you.
We're overpopulated. In fact, I made my maiden statement, and my maiden statement was on climate change.
Okay.
And it was a commemorative speech on climate change, and it actually made some waves. It got me moving from one radio TV station to the other.
Okay.
And I think that is something that I intend to do more in the coming days.
Wish you all the best, and thank you so much for joining us for Point Blank.
Thank you very much. I'm very grateful.
You too. That's Honorable Ebenezer Ndebila. He is NDC Member of Parliament for Zabila in the Upper East Region. He was my guest on Point Blank. I am Umaru Sanda Amado. I did this with Jubi Wiafi Akinton. Production by Sami Wiafi, Beverly London, Kwabna Wilson, Julian Odamia Sari, and Manuel Ayam. Technical production from Daniel Squashi. New media support from Emmanuel Owusu. We'll be back tomorrow at 17:30 GMT. Thank you for listening and have a good night.